Hello everybody who is watching this video and welcome to the Baby Show. Alright, so tonight's topic is going to be a Nanjing Massacre and how this is becoming a controversy right now between China and Japan. And how it's also becoming a very childish fight right now. As a brief intro to the Nanjing Massacre, it was a massacre caused by Japanese soldiers when they invaded Nanjing province of China and killed many of the Chinese soldiers who lost the battle and also innocent civilians. What more is they took the Chinese people's head as a trophy and set it up in front of their barracks to show the Chinese that they were much more powerful than the Chinese army. Of course, after the war ended, Japan said sorry to all the death of Nanjing Massacre. Well, that was until this Dumbo Mumbo went to visit the shrine of the war criminals who actually ordered the Nanjing Massacre and made China get really pissed off. And that's where we say that this babyish fight finally started its peak of fighting. I mean, seriously, was he out of his mind? Seriously? Visiting the war criminals' shrine? Do you think that will make China and Korea and other Japanese affected country happy? No! They were the one who ordered the Nanjing Massacre, and what the hell was he thinking? Oh yeah, and by the way, this man believes that Nanjing Massacre never happened. What? There's photo evidence. Hey, Prime Minister Abe, notice this picture? Japanese soldiers are cutting down Chinese soldiers' heads. Oh, and if you're worried that that picture was taken by a Chinese photographer, this is a photo taken by an American one. And yet, with all these photo evidences, a lot of Japanese historians and politicians believe that the Nanjing Massacre never happened. I pose one question to the historians, and I think it's a very important one, and you might want to listen to it. How in the name of God did you get your historian degree as a professor? I wonder that how did you get the degree if you don't know the world's worst massacre? The Japanese historians are actually saying that Nanjing Massacre did happen. It's just they're not going to put it on their history books. And it's the same thing as me saying that Japan is a country, but that I'm not putting it in the world map. Also, what more funny is Japan is actually having some pretty big debts, just about a few million, from China. And most of their, expertise go to China. So then what were they thinking when they were making China really mad? Like you're making the one place that you want to sell your place to and you are pissing them off. Probably they're not going to like you as much, which means they're not going to buy your stuff as much, probably, I think. China has some also very childish part in this little whole Nanjing Massacre and the shrine thing, because they're fighting over a topic that's over a century now. Like maybe it's getting close to like 150 years and they're still fighting about it right now just because like the Japanese minister visited it. It might have not been his intention and he was trying to explain it, but then China was like, no, we're not going to listen to you. We're just going to get really mad at you and we're just going to get really mad at you. So yeah, that's like China's opinion right now. And also, we really have to admit that China is actually a bit overreacting right now in terms of their their political view of Japan. Up until the so-called the patriot Shinzo Abe, a lot of prime ministers showed their pity and respect towards the people who and the lives that are lost in the Nanjing Massacre. For example, Prime Minister Kan Naoto said on 2010 that he was very sorry and all of Japanese should also be sorry about what happened during the Nanjing Massacre. But Shinzo Abe says that China is overreacting and also Korea is overreacting and Nanjing Massacre never happened. Why is these two politicians really different? I don't understand. Also, at 2001, the Prime Minister of Japan at that time was Koizumi Prime Minister, and in 2001, he visited Korea and stated his pity and his sorriness for China and Korea, and he stated like this: Japan should always remember what happened, and they should never forget what their ancestors have done. And it's just a plain fact that China is connecting Abe Shinzo, the current prime minister's attitude, into all of Japanese citizens. Well, to China, that's not true. A lot of Japanese people actually do not want war with China, nor do they want to provoke China. Actually, they want Abe Shinzo to come down from his position as a prime minister too. So please, China, understand Japan as well. Alright, thank you for listening to what I was explaining about Nanjing Massacre and how it has become a gigantic problem, and I would like you to maybe expand your knowledge on it more, since this was only a vague explanation about what is happening between the two countries. It's actually really interesting.